Video system initializing, signal stable, transmission begins in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
AAA gaming lost player trust, but Pragmata shows why it can come back. I mean, people keep saying AAA storytelling is dead. I mean, to some point I agree with that, but Pragmata makes their argument a lot harder to believe. It does not prove every big studio suddenly deserves your trust again. It does not erase years of unfinished launches, bloated open worlds, weak writing, and games that felt built like it was made for a committee or something like that. But it does remind us that some studios still understand how to make a big budget game feel focused, fun, and worth paying attention to. Now, I still haven't finished the game myself, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I've studied every scene, boss fight, or late game story moment. But from the gameplay that I've watched, the streams I've seen, the reviews, and the way people are talking about it, something clicked. What stood out to me is how simple the whole setup feels compared to a lot of modern AAA games. You have Hugh, Diana, a lunar research station, a rogue AI, and a basic emotional reason to care about what happens next. That sounds simple, but honestly, simple is exactly what a lot of AAA storytelling has been missing. Pragmata works because it's not seen desperate to impress you with size alone. It gives players a clear promise. It gives them a relationship to latch onto. It gives them gameplay that looks readable, strange, and fun without burying the whole thing under endless systems. This is why the game stands out in the current AAA space. At a time where so many big games feel oversized, overexplained, and overdesigned, Pragmata feels like a reminder that focus still matters. The real issue is not that AAA studios lack talent. The issue is that AAA games often cost so much money that the business side starts shaping the creative side too much. When a game costs hundreds of millions to make, publishers usually want the safest possible product. They want broad appeal, global reach, sequel potential, and as little risk as possible. That can lead to games that look expensive, sound expensive, but still feel emotionally empty. This is where a lot of AAA games start to lose me. When every decision has to protect a massive budget, the story can start feeling less like something someone wanted to tell and more like something designed to avoid failure. Characters get softened, themes get blurred, the premise gets stretched to fit too many audiences at once, and by the end you get a game that has polish but not much personality. That does not mean every big budget game has this problem, but it does explain why so many AAA stories feel safe now. They're not always bad, they're just predictable. And predictable becomes a problem when players are paying premium prices and giving up dozens of hours of their own time. One of the biggest things hurting AAA storytelling is the open world bloat. A game will tell you the world is falling apart, then immediately ask you to gather plants, craft upgrades, clear enemy camps, scan landmarks, chase icons, and complete side content for the next 20 hours. That kind of design can destroy pacing. The story says something urgent is happening, but the gameplay keeps pulling you away from it. After a while, the emotional weight starts fading because the structure keeps interrupting the point. This is why focus matters so much. A game does not need to be small to be good, but it does need to know what it's trying to do. When a game has too many systems fighting for attention, even a strong story can start feeling weaker than it really is. Another problem is how much modern AAA design seems shaped by trends. You can feel when a game is chasing what worked before instead of trusting its own identity. The crafting system is there because other games have one. The skill tree is there because players expect progression. The open world is there because open worlds sell well. The live service elements are there because publishers want long-term revenue. And the end result can feel more engineered than authored. That is not always the fault of the writers or developers. A lot of talented people work on these games, but when the whole production machine is built around, reducing risk, the final game can lose the edge that made people care about it in the first place. That is why a clear game like Pragmata stands out. It feels like it has a direct idea behind it. Now, to be fair, AAA storytelling has not completely failed. We still have games like Baldur's Gate 3, God of War Ragnarok, Cyberpunk 2077 after its updates, and The Last of Us Part 2. People can argue about those games all day, especially with story choices, but it proves something important. Large-scale games can still deliver strong characters, memorable scenes, and real emotional reactions. So the problem is not that AAA storytelling is impossible now. The problem is consistency. Great AAA storytelling used to feel like something players could expect from the best studios. Now it often feels like an exception. This is why players are more skeptical. They've been burned too many times by games that promise depth, scale, and polish, then delivered a product that felt unfinished or unforgettable. This is why Pragmata matters, beyond just another sci-fi action game. It shows that players still respond when a game has a strong premise, a clear design, and enough personality to stand out. It also shows that not every AAA game needs to chase the biggest map, the longest runtime, or the most complicated structure. Sometimes players just want a polished game with a clear idea, good characters, and gameplay that feels good to watch and play. That sounds basic, but basic is exactly what some big studios keep forgetting. The bigger gaming culture point is that players are tired of being told to lower their standards. They're tired of being sold broken games, tired of bloated experiences that waste their time, tired of stories that feel expensive but forgettable, and they're tired of studios acting like criticism means gamers just do not understand how hard development is. Most gamers understand that making great games is difficult, but difficulty does not erase the fact that people are spending real money and real time. When someone comes home from work and finally gets a few hours to play something, they don't want to feel like they paid to be disappointed. They want a game that respects that time. That's why trust matters so much in AAA gaming right now. So I don't think AAA storytelling is dead, but trust has been damaged, and a lot of studios have not earned it back yet. Pragmata stands out because it reminds people that big budget games can still feel focused, fun, and emotionally clear. It does not fix the entire industry by itself, but it does show that what players are looking for: a finished game, a strong premise, characters worth caring about, gameplay that respects your time, and a studio that gives you a reason to believe they still care about making good games. That should not feel rare in AAA gaming, but right now it does.
Oh, hey, glad you're still here. I've, just finished syncing the next set of files for you. They're right over there on the screen. Take a look and, catch ya in the next one.